Savedish thing. It's Sunday. It's the Savedish thing. And you are locked in to the Savedish Sunday podcast, where faith meets real talk, with comedians Bill the Billionaire, Monique Latise, and Pastor John Page. Just that come as you are, church. I hope you're ready. It's the Savedish Sunday podcast. People. Finally, we are here. You are now tuned into the Savedish Sunday podcast. Yes, we're here. I'm your host, comedian Bill the Billionaire, but I can't do this alone. I got the team with me. So coming to the stage, I got my sister, the one and only Monique Latise, baby. She in the building. And listen, we need somebody to make sure that we right. And that's my brother, Dr. Pastor John Page in the building, baby. Come on. Come on, man. Welcome, people. Welcome to the Savedish Sunday podcast. It's the new year. We in the second month already. How y'all feeling, y'all? How y'all feeling?
The year's starting out amazing.
Come on now.
Yes.
Yeah. Those are great words. Amazing all the way around.
Listen. I'm happy that y'all have amazing January's, because I'm not gonna front. January felt like I had 10 Sundays in like this was the longest January ever. But we made it through. It was. I felt like January was never going to end.
I'm just glad we're here. The country's not, we still here. So
come on, we made it through one. We made it through one. But people, listen. Go ahead, Mo. Go ahead.
Last year was trash, so I'm expecting.
Okay, yeah, this is expecting.
Come on, talk that talk.
Yeah. Last year was trash, man. I'm expecting God to do some things exceedingly abundantly above all things I ever do. I'm expecting God to blow my mind in this season.
Come on. And I'm which I won't say last year was the planting the seeds for me. It was like I'm planting these seeds and I'm already seeing one of my seeds, flourishing right now because we right here. You get what I'm saying? So this is the growing season. This is when we gonna see the hard stuff that we prepared for. So that's really how I feel. So I'm excited about what we got going on. But people, I want to let y'all know what we got going on here. This is the Savedish Sunday podcast, and as you know, this is that come as you are where faith meets real talk. And I had this vision of, really getting out there and speaking to people from all different walks of life. Y'all know from my comedy, everything is Savedish because, the Lord is my Lord and Savior, but I do have an insight. We not going to be like, but a lot of people do, and that keeps them from coming to the church or just really building that relationship. So I wanted to build this platform to get ahead and open that up for people, but I couldn't do it alone. I've been holding on this for years, and I found the pieces that I needed. So I want to introduce them to y'all, and I'm Bill the Billionaire, comedian, been doing comedy for 14 years. I'm a winner of the McDonald's Gospel Fest in the comedy competition. And, thank you. We can go ahead and give it up for that. That was big.
You got to give it up for yourself.
Got to give it up for that. But now, and like I said, I've been traveling, doing shows all over, churches, clubs, bar mitzvahs, wherever you need it, we there. But I'm going to pass it to my sister so y'all can get to know her and how she feels about the show and all that. So talk to the people real quick. Talk to the people.
So I'm excited. I am a born-again Christian that is also a lover of everyday life. And for that reason alone, I'm excited to be here. I'm a stand-up comedian. I'm a mom. I'm a grandma.
Yeah.
And, life is life, but God is God. And so
God is God. You need to put that on a t-shirt.
I'm happy to be on a platform where I can talk about everyday situations and still give God the praise that's due because he's the reason for the season. And he knew the plan before we knew the plan. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited. I'm excited for what he's doing. So this is the perfect platform for me to be on so that I can let people know that nothing moves without God.
Come on now. Come on now. You bringing that word. I appreciate that. But Pastor Page, talk to the people, man. Tell them who you are. Tell them a little about yourself.
Oh, man. I'm so glad to be here one more time. Just a little bit about myself, man. I'm just a servant. I do serve as a pastor, a community leader, and husband, family. Certainly got 4 kids, got 2 grandkids. So Monique, I share the same sentiments. And man, I'm just a lover of life. I'm a lover of trying to find reconciliation and healing, and not only in people but in communities, and looking how to create heaven on earth. I don't think we have to die to experience God's glory on this earth. And so I like to be able to share with people what God has given to me. I'm just one beggar trying to tell another beggar where to find the bread of life and experience life more abundantly. So this is the perfect platform for me. I've been wanting to do some kind of podcast and just kind of sharing some similar vision, and this is a great outlet and a platform to be able to talk about things that I regularly may not experience and talk about in the pulpit, but allows the people to be able to see and to ask questions and to really be real and to be frank with either their faith walk struggles, what may go on in the church, what may go on with clergy or with people in the church or anything like that. So I'm glad that we have this platform, and I look forward to being able to not only be blessed by this and blessed by your giftedness, both of you all. Quick shout out to Billy there, who did a comedy show for us, and over at the Logan Center, and man, it still got people raving about just all the performers, how professional you guys were, and just what a blessing it was. Particularly after having such a hard year in last year, and to be able to kind of end the year with wonderful time of word and worship and then laughter, man, it was absolutely amazing. And so I thank God for you. I thank God for Mo and just your giftedness and your ministries. And so let me shut up.
I appreciate that.
Bragging on us.
Yeah, I was like this. You better keep talking.
You guys are awesome, man.
He out here talking, but people, like, I want y'all to know, like, everybody, I got friends, they was like, oh no, I ain't gonna get ahead and watch the Savedish show. That's just gonna be church. Nah, listen, let me explain something to you. Listen, I got me a glass of wine. We gonna have a good time.
Chameleon.
And I have the red cup, but it's water in it.
So she said,
cheers.
Hey, cheers, good cheers. And people, I want y'all to know, this is like where faith meets real talk. Those things, like I really feel like a lot of people put God in this box and feel like, God's sitting there like, no, you can't. Like, it's a difference. You got to know how to talk. And I'm going to tell you how I talk to him,
Yes.
But people, listen, we got different segments on this show. And we got a whole bunch of things. And if y'all want to get ahead, and make sure y'all are following us on all platforms at Save This Sunday Pod. At Save This Sunday Pod. If you miss any of this, you will get ahead and catch it on YouTube. But first off, before we get into our first segment, we got to shout out to the Aspire Network family. We thank y'all for having us. Aspire, thank you for having us. The network is amazing. So people, I thank everybody that's tuning in. New and our continuous followers. Make sure you follow all of us. But listen, we getting into one of my favorite portions of the show, and that's my sister's Monique. And that's the Ask Monique part of the show. And I'm gonna let Mo break that down for you. Tell us about the Ask Monique.
Okay, so Ask Monique are questions that you can ask me about everyday life when it comes to love, career, relationships, family, anything that you want to ask that you want my opinion on, as well as the other co-hosts. Be my guest. You can write in to the podcast at Savedish Sunday Podcast at billionairecomedy.com. And I believe we have it going across. Yes, we have it. So I'm going to go ahead and give you my first letter. Dear Mo, I consider myself to be a beautiful woman with a decent career, but I have not been asked out on a date in years, hardly even approached. How can I get myself more on a dating scene without seeming desperate? That's a good one. That's a good one, especially, there's a lot of single women, coming into 2025, and they've been praying for a spouse. They've been praying, like, I feel like a lot of women now are not even praying for a spouse. They're praying just to go on a date, because nobody's even asking us out on dates anymore. So she's asking, how can I get myself back on the dating scene without seeming desperate? And so my question to her would be like, well, what's being desperate to you? Just, making yourself available, letting people know, because sometimes we don't look available.
Come on, you better talk about it.
Sometimes we don't look available. So I'm curious to know. I would ask her, what does looking desperate to you? Is being on a dating site, is that seeming desperate? You know, approaching a man that you may be interested in and asking him out on a date, is that being desperate? You know, to me, I kind of feel like with social media, nobody's communicating anymore. Nobody knows how to do old-fashioned, I see you, you see me, let's communicate. Like a
Slide in
lot of
that DM time. We in the slide in the
exactly.
DM.
And I'm just, you know, me personally, I'm still, you know, stuck on if you in my DM, that's weird to me.
That's weird.
You know,
I mean,
you know what's funny? I was just thinking, it depends on, I would answer that question by asking the age or generation a person's in.
yes.
Because I think everybody has various comfort zones depending on where they are. You know, some people may be comfortable with dating sites, and then you have, now, funny, I've been watching there's a couple of shows on Netflix, shout out to Netflix, who that deals with, you know, elderly. And, you know, there's a lot of statistics. I think it's like the
old time daters or the
yeah. Yo, it was mad funny too.
Yeah.
But it really dealt with, you know, the dynamics of, you know, baby boomer generations, like my mother's generation, and a lot of singles that are there, and, you know, kind of highlights, you know, people in old folks home or senior living, and, you know, them kind of being freaky and getting it on, and you know, that it goes on each generation, man. And so, you know, I think this is a question that expands to everybody.
Yeah, and I think that I think that the part that you said, like right now, Mo, I've seen people go outside, holler at a chick, and not ask for the number, ask for their IG. Like that's it right now. You know what I mean? But like you said, I think that age demographic is important. You know what I mean?
I don't like to follow people I just meet. Like if I just meet a guy, and because it happens sometimes, I'm out at shows, and you know they get the IG. Now we're following each other, and I post crazy. I'm gonna speak for me. I'm gonna speak for Monique Latise. 1 minute I'm happy, next minute I'm sad. Shut up, Billy. Next minute I'm preaching, next minute I'm flirting, next minute I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
This is who I am. So I don't really like when someone who may be interested in me follows me, because you're gonna get lost. You're gonna be confused.
But that's what they're gonna get when they come to, like, you that's you. I feel like that part, it's you. You know what I mean? So it's like you got. I think in the times that we are in, especially in the industries that we're in, like we're out there. You get what I'm saying? Like, and you be on the TikTok, you be having the, you know what I mean? You got the show, but that's just you and your personality. So whoever you're with is gonna have to get it, understand that too.
Maybe that raises a question though, in terms of how do we get out there? It's we live in an age where putting ourselves out there requires some degree of vulnerability.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm
because
still old-fashioned though. I'm still old-fashioned when it
comes. All right. But do you feel like you're approachable when you're out?
Sometimes I feel like I'm too approachable. Yes.
Too what? But let's see. And this is the thing. You said you're too approachable. So now you want to be approached. You want somebody to approach you. But now it'd be like, I want somebody to approach him, but not him. I didn't want him to do it. I wanted somebody else to, like, yo, you out here being picky.
I heard that I give off like some type of flirtatious energy. That's what I heard. So there's women out there who are naturally flirtatious. We don't mean to be, you know, we're not trying to jump in the bed with you. We just have natural energy that attract people. And I believe that I do, because sometimes when I'm out, it's like I'll meet someone. And for example, I just met a guy the other day at a show, and we went out to eat. And as I'm talking to him, I'm realizing that, you know, maybe I have dating anxiety. And that was a hard pill to swallow, because I was wondering why the last couple of days that I've been on, I'm like, no. But, you know, he tried to kiss me and he grabbed my neck.
He just skipped all the foreplay and everything. Went right for it, huh?
He grabbed your neck?
Yes.
How did he know
you knew him for a little while, it'd have been okay.
If what?
If you knew him for a little while, it'd have been okay.
You would have known that I don't ever. You would have known if you dated me for a while. You would have known never to grab my neck. I don't like that.
No, I think he like jumped the gun. I'm gonna be 100%.
No, that was
as a man on the. This was your first date?
Yes.
On the first date, there's no way I'm going in here trying to. That's crazy.
me. He tried to kiss me and
Yeah,
grab
that brother was showing aggression off the bat.
Bold.
And honestly, I'm like, I'm good. I was really, when I got home, I said, Lord, I'm gonna wait on Jesus.
Yeah. And sisters,
Lord.
look for those red flags. If you see those red flags, immediately run the other way. I think sometimes people be giving, you know what I mean, passes for stuff that you know are red flags, and you don't need to be in those situations. You know what I mean?
Oh my God! He tried to make it seem like it was me. Like, relax. You know.
Now hold on. Let me ask you this question.
Okay.
If he didn't go for the choke, would you have let him get the kiss?
I thought it was too soon.
So I just want to see where you at. I didn't know if you was kissing on the first date.
On a first date, bro. Let me.
Do you have rules? I'm just curious. What are like the dating rules these days? Like for honestly, first base, second base, third base, home runs.
Yeah, like what are the rules?
I'm gonna be honest. In my 30s and my 40s, let's get to it. Let's get to it, right? In my 50s, I kind of feel like I got so much going on. People, you don't know who you locking tongue with. People crazy. And I feel like I learned a few years ago from dating sites and just being anxious, having an anxious spirit, that I gotta protect myself a little bit more. And I feel like, ladies, we gotta know who we are. I would tell this lady here, know your dating habits, know who you are. Me, Monique Latise, I have an anxious spirit, right? I get excited. If I meet you and I'm feeling you, so sometimes I gotta calm myself down and get to know you. You know, you may have a, good job, be nice looking. Then I always envision you around my family and this and that. But your character, are you moody? Can you put up with my anxiety? There's different factors that I want to, and I'm a talker, so I have to be mindful of these things. And when I go on dates, am I spilling my guts out the first time, at the first date? Because I got to be careful, because people actually like, you know what? I thought you was feeling me. I thought you wanted me. You told me this, you told me that.
You was just an ear. Like you.
So I have to be mindful of how I carry myself when I'm out.
Yeah.
So,
all right, but listen, I hope that helped and answered your question. But people, y'all know, if y'all want to go ahead and send in any questions for Asking Monique, y'all can send it in to Save This Sunday Podcast at billionairecomedy.com.
Know who you are. Yes, know who you are, ladies. Know who you are. And number 2 is dating is dating. You are not obligated to do anything you don't want to do. And it's okay to put yourself out there and let someone know that you're interested, because you never know what's on someone else's mind. So if you see something you want, go get it. Life is short.
Come on now, talk to him. You hear that? She said, go get it. Just don't let him choke you. Just don't let him.
Not on the first date. Not unless there's consent. We live in a consent era.
Not on the first date. But yeah, so people, listen, we got a segment of the show, and this is like my segment, and it's called The Ish, okay? Because a lot of things happen in the church, some things happen outside the church, and something happened on the street that, happened to all of us, and we try to deny our ish side. But this just recently happened to one of my boys, and he told me about it. I said, I'm putting that on the show, okay? We ain't gonna say no churches, I ain't gonna say whose church it was, but this past Sunday, my boy went to church. When he went to church, he said, church was amazing. The choir was singing and breaking everything down. The preacher had a great word, and then he called everybody to the altar, and all the preachers were up there and praying over everybody. And Sister Johnson was praying over my man. And he said, she was praying. I'm talking about putting the hands on me, speaking in tongues, doing everything, and just praying over. He was sitting there bawling, crying. You know what I'm saying? Walked back to his seat, and he was like, I feel filled. You know how you go to church and you feel filled for the week? He said, Bill, let me tell you something. I felt great. I walked outside. There was a commotion in the church parking lot. He said, did you know Sister Johnson had shoes off, earrings out, and was scrapping in the church parking lot, scrapping? He said, Bill, weaves getting there, just going. And I said, oh. So the question is, first off, that's some ish. But now, as you just leaving church and you getting all that, yo, she just blessed me. I thank you. Like I've had somebody pray with me. I'm like, some they was praying. But then to come out and see them scrapping in the parking lot,
That's
oh
wild.
no. That's a whole nother situation. So let me ask y'all, how do y'all feel about this? It's like, is the prayer still good? Is the prayer still good? I just need to know. You want to go first, Mo? Talk about it, Mo.
Let me go first. Let me go first, real quick. The calling is so separate, and I think people forget that. Your calling, the calling on your life, whether it's in prayer, whatever ministry that God has you on, that's something separate. That needs to be worked on. And a lot of times people come to church and they don't work on their weaknesses. Their gifts are emphasized. So that person is still human. So like, no, you can't have everybody pray over you, but I don't think that discounts her message to God.
Okay.
I don't know what provoked her. I don't know, she still need healing in that area.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say, you ain't praying for me no more the way you fighting. I don't know what caused
it. So now that's like kind of where I'm at right this, because certain people, and Pastor, you can get ahead and attest to this, like certain people put people that are in ministry in this box. Like, when they say here, you better try Jesus, not me. Like try Jesus.
You can still get these hands.
Like, them hands still work. And the people gotta understand, I don't know what the situation was over. But I mean, of course, as adults, you don't want to get there. But hey, we don't know. They was out there scrapping by the time.
All the time. If you just out there just knock the people
she
out,
always fighting, yo. Everything we do, she always fighting.
Yeah. Then you need to be removed from the prayer service section.
Yeah. So you all right? So Mo, you wouldn't have no problem with you. Hey, we can just move on. I'm good.
Right.
Like you still accept their prayer. You be like, hey, you want to pray over me next week? Like, I don't know. Like, you want her to keep praying over you? Next week you coming back, you like this. Hey, yo, she like this. Not yet. Let me give you a minute. She's like, I'm not ready. Some there's some hands.
I would come with like some headgear on or some protective gear or something. Like if she gonna pray over you, you know what I mean? She might really get into the prayer and might lay hands a little too hard on somebody. You know what I mean?
But now all right. So look, I'm about to put you on the spot. Okay, Pastor, this is your church. This is your church. After church, one of your ministers or people that are a part of your church that was just in there is in the parking lot scrapping. How are you taking this? How are you taking it?
First, my security is going to handle it. So they going out there and they are strapped. So we have situations. We have trained professionals to deal with situations like that. But I want to go back to Mo's point, and I kind of want to kind of deal with that. We got to remember that when God calls us.
Come on now.
He calls all of us. And I think sometimes we forget that some of us come from the ghettos of Bethlehem and understand, what it looks like to grow up on streets where, you need to know how to knuckle up and you learn respect and all the other good stuff. And if we look at Jesus 12, Peter was a thug. He was the type who cut people's ears off without hesitation. He would shoot first and ask questions last, in other words. And yet, God still works with him. And so, just because, somebody is in a church does not necessarily mean that they can't throw their hands when they need to. And so, my advice to people is, try Jesus.
Try Jesus. Like, come on. Talk about it. So now,
well said.
I appreciate that. Now, I got some more ish, and I'm happy that we are here. I've always wanted to bring this up because it's happened. I've seen people make judgment on this. And, this is where that ish side comes out. So people, we go to different bars, we go to cigar lounges and things like this. And we go there and, sometimes, you go and where your church is and, that you see the church family in the bars and stuff like that. Cool. But you walk into the bar and guess who's in there with a cigar and a drink? Your pastor. Some people, they sitting there like this. Oh my God, pastor in there drinking. Pastor in there smoking a cigar. Oh, I won't go to his church because he be drinking and da-da-da. And now let me say this in context. the pastor that was doing this has never been in a situation to where he was in there getting drunk, getting messy, he's just hanging out, chilling like everybody else. So I don't want y'all to get and be like, oh no, he was drunk, da 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 da. But I just want to hear y'all opinion. I want Mo, I want you to go first. So you walking on your pastor, how you feeling about that?
I love to see men of God enjoying themselves, number one, in decency and order. In decency and order. Number two is I believe in my heart that the pandemic changed a lot of situations for the church.
Mm.
You know, I feel like, you know, people realize that you can still serve God and you have to find some type of enjoyment. You know, long as you're not overindulging. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that personally. I wouldn't turn my nose up. I'll never forget one time I went on a date with a guy in ministry. He's a pastor now, but I went on a date. And I wasn't expecting him to do this.
He choked you?
Huh?
He choked you? He said, come here, girl. That was the first date.
He did something worse, but we're not going to go there.
Oh, Lord.
But he pulled out a bottle of, he was, you know, ordering wine. And at first I was like, But you know what? I said, they had wine at the Last Supper, didn't they? Or Jesus turned water
into wine. Come on now.
That's right. The best wine.
Come on.
Right. So I said, you know what? So it just taught me, like, you know, he's still a man of God. He still was called. He still, you know, did what he was supposed to do. And he wasn't drunk. He was just enjoying himself. So I didn't feel any kind of way about it. Okay. But I see your point that I know some people will have something to say. They
do it. And I'm like,
people have something to say about everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I feel like the new pastors are different. They wear Tims.
It's a different time. But Pastor, come on now. You know we got to talk to you.
Yeah.
Speak on this a little bit.
Think before you speak, Pastor.
No. I'm gonna share a personal experience. This was when I was in my younger ministry years. I had gone through a divorce, actually. And you know, I was at an event, and I was having a cocktail, and a parishioner from another church saw me in there, and word got back to my church that, you know, I was having this drink in this little particular spot. And so, which was fascinating, because when somebody brought me in and began to inquire about it, you know, my whole thing was, why are you so curious about what it is that I'm doing at this particular time? I mean, I would have invited you to sit down and, you know, have a drink with me. And, you know, maybe get some insight on what's going on in my life at the time. Mm-hmm. You know, why I'm in here is because I'm drowning my sorrows. You know what I mean? So
that's real.
You know, but, you know, going back to Mo's point about, you know, having outlets and being able to be in safe spaces. And those particular individuals probably felt like it was a safe space, and, you know, would hope that if somebody came in, they would not have to worry about, you know, that kind of mistrust or, you know, assassination of character, because the reality is the individual's probably in there minding their own business. The individual's probably in there trying to relax and deal with the high pressures of, you know, we got to think about, you know, you talked about walking into a cigar bar. That's not a easy access place. Mm-hmm. Most cigar bars are somewhat expensive to purchase a cigar, to purchase whatever beverage they may come with that, et cetera, et cetera. And so the individual they are looking for an escape. They are looking for a getaway that's not easily accessible by other people. And so, you know, if individuals come in there and see them, you would hope that that individual be mature enough to understand that that individual is trying to get away from people like that. So,
but now let me ask you this question, because you said, you know, being a safe place and all that kind of stuff. That's cool, but I just feel like that makes, like, okay, I can do it here, but I can't do it here. Like, I feel like it's not a thing where I'm not saying you like it's like you're hiding it, but I feel like there's nothing wrong with you. If I go to if you go to daggone Applebee's and I see you in Applebee's and you're having a drink and you over there having wine with your dinner or having a drink, a cocktail while you having dinner, I don't see what's wrong with it, but people will frown upon it. But then I'm like, for why? Like, why is it? And then that's why you saying that safe place and thinking that, okay, people won't see me. I don't feel like if they see me, they see me. They don't, they don't. But that's
I don't think it's about people seeing. I think it's about detaching away from that
okay.
crowd.
And
so,
all, like, okay.
Again, I think, you know, when you talk about cigar bars or those kind of places, those are places that typically you need some ends to go. I'm not gonna go to one of those establishments and run into a lot of my parishioners.
Gotcha.
I will go to Stop and Shop or ShopRite and run into everybody named Mama. I will go to Apple. Actually, I will not go to Applebee's. But if I did go to Fridays, if I did go to there, you know, the chances of running into individuals that you deal with on a daily basis or, you know, that you're ministering to, the chances are high in running into individuals like that. I remember, you know, growing up in ministry, one of my mentors shared with me, you know, never play where you work. That was the first thing. And then, you know, find somewhere where you can deal with the trauma and the stress. Now, I happen to have a cigar locker, and I happen to go to a cigar bar, and I happen to network with individuals in there who are CEOs, who are business owners, who are owners of, you know, certain things, who can say, John, you need help with X, Y, and Z? Absolutely. Because again, we're talking about access.
Right.
Yeah.
We're talking about
So do you feel that things have changed though since the pandemic? Because that's driving in my head. I feel like a lot of people are a little bit more relaxed with what people do as extracurricular.
Of course. I think I think people have come to realization that a lot of what we consider church is not really church, or a lot of what we considered bad or now I do agree with moderation, and I do agree with when scripture says, you know, don't be a stumbling block for somebody else. I think that's another reason why there might be some detachment. You got to remember, in Jesus's ministry, particularly in the Gospel of Mark, oftentimes he talks about periods of rest and periods of getting away, periods of getting away from ministry. And Jesus did this, blah, 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 and then he retreated. And Jesus did such and such and such, and then he retreated. Vacations are great. I just came from one. I was in Puerto Rico, and we
kid looking good. If I hear you out here, you know,
you know what I mean? It was beautiful. Now, as soon as I landed back in the States, literally my phone was blowing up. I had emails at the wazoo. Yeah, I had to come back to the stress, the hustle and bustle of ministry. I had 2 funerals to do. You know, I had counseling to do. I had sermon prep. We had consecration this past weekend. You know, we're getting ready for Black History Month, all that kind of stuff. You know, I got other projects going. And so, you know, we're continuously moving. And, but when we talk about enjoyment, when we talk about finding balance, when we talk about, you know, being able to experience all that life. Now, I'm not advocating for anybody to have any kind of vice or anything like that. I am saying that we deal with enough trauma and stress that we need to be able to have some form of outlet or some form of being able to detach from the things that we're as particularly in ministry. If we continue to give and never get poured into,
cutting them empty.
Come on.
You would become an empty well. You would become dry. You would become unuseful to anybody else.
That's in comedy as well. You know, that's in comedy as well. We go on stage and we pour these jokes out. And sometimes it feel like we being used from one show to the next show to the next show.
They don't know that ride home. Ride home
you
be
know,
different.
Sometimes I literally feel myself like, you know, I feel like empty in that. And I remember one time saying, why do I feel after such a great show and all the love in the room and the pictures, why do I feel empty? And I had to work on that. That's a whole nother topic. I had to.
You
I had
give,
to,
you give, you pour out, you pour out everything you have into your craft of bringing humor and making people laugh. That's a gift. You have to pour into that. There are people out here that are naturally funny, and then there are people out here who outwork everybody else, who have a passion for things. And so, every time you pour into and give of yourself, you're going to feel spent.
Yeah.
It's not for you. It's you're giving yourself away.
Yeah. Well, people, listen, y'all heard it here. All right. We had a lot of ish that we got settled right here. But if y'all want to send in any ish, y'all go ahead and put ish in the subject line and send it to Save This Sunday podcast at billionairecomedy.com. And I will bring your ish to the Save This Sunday podcast. All right. So definitely, I appreciate y'all helping me out with that. But people, it is time now. It is time now to come to the altar. With our brother, Pastor John Page, he's going to break down what the come to the altar is about, and we're going to go ahead and jump into it. So talk to him, Pastor. Talk to him.
Yeah. The come to the altar segment, we in the church, we in the Black church particularly, we are very forgiving people. We will, and the Lord is very forgiving. And so oftentimes when in the church we do something that's called an altar call, and the altar call is supposed to represent a period or time in the worship experience where people can bring whatever their burdens are, wherever their mistakes are, whatever their thing that might be pressing them, that might be giving them some trouble, whatever might be going on with them, they can come to the altar, they can leave it there, they can get the forgiveness that they need, and they can go back out, hopefully re-strengthened and all that other kind of stuff. So, we're going to use this segment to invite individuals who I think need to come to the altar because just some of the things that are currently going on, they just need some prayer. And so I don't know if you guys have been, paying attention. Of course, you've been paying attention. There's been so much going on with everything that's been going on with the Trump administration and the inauguration and all that other good stuff. But one of the persons that I think that really needs to come to the altar is Uncle Snoop. Uncle Snoop. Nelly. Yes. Oh my God is right. Do you know this Negro had a great album out that I was bumping until
Snoop, yo, I can front. I'm thankful for let me be myself. Okay. Yo, that J had me rocking. Snoop, Uncle Snoop.
I was like, and then not too long ago, wasn't you the same dude in 2017 that was asking who's going to perform for this cat? And then you turn around and you perform by yourself? Come on, man.
Yeah, look, that right there was crazy. But now I'm gonna be real. And it's like I have mixed feelings about the situation. I have mixed feelings about it. Because
share your feelings. I'm curious to hear
because I know,
particularly from an entertainer's perspective.
I don't know who Snoop voted for, whatever. But for me, I'm not at the stage. Like I'm good. I don't want to get ahead and be there. Like I can't joke because I feel like I'm not being true to myself, and I'm going to get this money. Snoop don't need the money. Okay,
he don't need the money.
He don't need the money. But I think in a business situation. He's like, look, Snoop's numbers didn't go down. You know what I'm saying? That this is where people they remove the old purpose, the whole, hey, okay, look, that's what he did, but I'm here working now. Some people move it that way. Not saying I agree with it because if I'm not sitting here saying, oh no, not even saying that he's saying it, but I hate all black people. I don't agree with this. I'm not going to perform at my show. There's some things I can say no to.
But see, the thing about I don't mind how you get your bread, right? Go get your bread and this and that and the other. But don't be surprised by the reaction of your fan base.
Oh, yeah.
All of us have platforms. I can't go out there and I can say anything I want to. And I can do anything I want to. But that comes with a cost.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
What costs am I doing what I'm doing and performing for?
Yeah. Like I would like did he respond? Did he say anything about why he did
Of
it? Did he
course, he
say
responded. He responded,
I didn't
and that was the thing. He responded with this idea of addressing the criticism by emphasizing positivity and self-love, stating that he remains 100% Black and he chooses to answer hate with love. You know, he highlights his appreciation for Trump's pardon of death row records and all that kind of stuff. Like, you know, I get all that, but again, you can't say one thing 3 or 4 years later and then come back and expect your fans. I don't know. I'm not in the entertainment industry,
All right.
so
So again, Mo,
I
Mo,
just
how
kind
you
of
feel? How you
resist
feel
that.
about it, Mo?
Mo, what you think?
So I have mixed feelings about it. You know, my issue with Snoop is the video that he made before saying that, you know, he would never do that and just talking so negative about it. But you know, people have the right to change their mind. And I just think with social media, social media has the power to one day like you, one day they don't. One day you do something wrong, the next minute you don't. And that's the part I don't like, because I don't know what their motives are for performing, you know, at his event. But whatever it is, Trump is the president now.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. You know, it's not like they were performing at his campaign. He's the president now. So I don't know what their personal goal is. And Nelly ain't rocking like that. So he probably figured, you know what, let me jump on this.
My thing is that you got to be. This is open up. Like now we're talking about them. We're on our show right now talking about their names. You know what I'm saying? We got viewers from all over now hearing us talking about it. And what are they going to do? They're going to go do their research. And now guess what? Nelly's popping up. Bang, 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 bang. Your name is involved. People, and that's entertainment. That's like, all right, there's good press and there's bad press. You know, and there's controversial press that you can do this. And now you got to look at everything that Snoop has done last year. He was on the Olympics every single day talking about stuff that he ain't
what his agenda. Correct. We don't know what his agenda is.
Yeah.
And believe me, they are not the only ones that's rubbing shoulders with Trump.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
I find that interesting in terms of, you know, I think a lot of people are putting energy into the ethnic background and the racism and all that good stuff. And I think this is beyond any kind of race. This is, you know, having access, being able to rub shoulders and have access to be able to be in the rooms with certain
people. You know what I would want if I wanted to do this. I would really have to have. I want that sit down with Trump. You get what I'm saying? I'd want that sit down with Trump. Like, look, this is how I feel. You know, I want to let you know how I feel, and I gotta say, because it's just for me. I want you to know where I stand. You know what I mean? I can get ahead and sit there. I'm not sitting there. Do you still want me to do this? Because I'm gonna let you know how I feel. And respectfully, I can sit here and have a sitting in conversation and say certain things that I'm like, okay, let's have that conversation, because I don't want nothing to get misconstrued. Now, this is how I feel. Like, all right, so what's your view on it?
Here's the thing. I feel like everybody feel like since there's certain people that was against him, that everybody has to follow suit. We don't know. Has he publicly said recently where his stance is with Trump? I haven't heard anything. So why does he owe, you know, us an explanation for it?
So now, and then they got, you know, they got people that give like, look, I agree with some things that Trump has done. I disagree with a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? So
look at Obama. Look at Obama at the funeral. They were laughing and kikiing, and that. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. That shocked me.
That shocked me too.
Yeah, that shocked me more than Snoop performing, because you know Snoop probably maybe he wanted to, because sometimes you got to get close to the enemy. Sometimes you got to get, you know, it's not always about being on the same team. Maybe we never know what his motive is by being there and the connection that he wants to, but maybe he want to be on a panel with, you know, being a voice for us. We really don't know.
Can we shift gears?
Yeah, shift it.
Can we shift gears?
We had the altar.
Because at the same inauguration, right, there's another cat who I want to bring down to the altar, because this one kind of puts, you know, my profession and sort of the church, you know, kind of at the forefront, which has been at the forefront throughout this time. I don't know how many questions I get in terms of what is evangelical, what is the right wing what is white nationalism, what is the church. There was a pastor recently that out of the DC area who talked about this. What kind of Christianity is out here? Is it the white nationalist Christianity that wants to take us back? Is it the Christianity of the patriarchy that wants to keep women a certain way? Is it the Christianity of liberalism that wants to let everybody do everything? Is it what kind of Christianity? So anyway, this dude, Pastor, let me see what his name, Pastor Sewell, gave this benediction at Trump's prayer, and that was held on King's birthday, and on January 20th. And this cat delivered the prayer, which he began to quote Billy, you and I, our frat brother, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. He began to quote him in reference to the Trump victory, as well as kind of showing gratitude and being grateful for the bullet that missed him and all that kind of stuff. My question, I guess, and what I bring into the altar is kind of the media portrayal and this sort of kind of schism we see within what we consider the world of church, right? Mm-hmm. And we have cats who are kind of out here portraying one way, and many may, again, I think is important, particularly as clergy leaders, when you have platforms, right? Mm-hmm. And what is your platform standing for? If you are somebody who is trying to win or be transformed, trying to win souls for the Lord, or be transformative in your community, how are we using our platforms? And so, as I watched that, I kind of wondered, just what kind of taste does that leave? And in terms of the church, I've heard over and over again about how people experience church hurt, how the church might be on a decline, and all this other good stuff. And I'm kind of curious, and I bring this to the altar because I'm just a little concerned about the state of the church and kind of where the perception of all these various players who are out here portraying the church in a certain way.
Mm-hmm. How you feel about it? How you feel about it, Mo?
Everybody want to be a pastor. Either they want to be a pastor or a comedian. That's the two positions that everybody want to be. Everybody want to be. Everybody, all the pastors want to be comedians. Everybody want to be comedians and pastors. That was a hot mess, to be honest with you. I don't even know what that was. I'm glad you said his name because I have to look him up because I was like, who in the
whose mess is this? Okay? That's exactly where we at with this dude. It's crazy, and like for it to be on MLK, Martin Luther King Day, and you flipping stuff. Now you flipping it. That's not where So now and then that network they gonna get in this. Oh my gosh! On this day, y'all have no respect for what.
Respect.
Look, I know what I was doing on that day. Okay, I was at an MLK service. Okay, I don't know what y'all was watching, but I was at.
Look at you.
Come on, I'm gonna be real. You know what I'm saying?
Talk about it.
I had to go to the statue, and take my picture at the statue at Philly Dickinson University, the MLK statue out here in Jersey, because that's what I was out there celebrating and being there. But listen, it's a time that we're in, and this is just showing everybody like these are the times that we're in right now.
Yeah,
like we don't know.
To the altar, I'm gonna help you usher that man to the altar and place him at the cross.
Right there. Yeah. The altar. He's got. You got anybody else you want to bring before we get ahead and close up and get into our closing stuff and all that? Anybody else you want to bring?
Anybody else who feels like you may have made a mistake. You might feel like you might have said something, did something that may or may not get you canceled. Mm-hmm. That you may have done something that may or may not cause people to be in an uproar. You're always invited to the altar. God can turn it around for you.
Come on,
we are forgiving people. The Lord is forgiving, and just bring it to the altar, and we'll be all right.
That's what I'm talking. Thank you, Pastor, for that. I appreciate that. We needed that. We definitely needed that.
I'm gonna
But
have a few names next week. I'm gonna have a few names next week for you.
Mo said, I'm bringing people. So she said, listen, I got a list
Send
of
them
people
in.
that need
And
to
if
come.
anybody else has names, please send them on in. The email is right there scrolling
Definitely.
on the screen. And please send it in,
Yes.
and we'll deal with it. Come to the altar.
Definitely.
You may need to come to the altar. Come on in.
Come on in. Come on in. So people, listen, we got 10 more minutes left in the show. Before we get out of here, I just want to, honestly thank both of you for being a part of this. Like, I don't know about y'all. I think this is a good first episode. You know what I'm saying? I had a great time with the episode. So, let's just give it up for the first episode in the books right now. You know what I'm saying? We can give it up.
It was good.
For that. But listen, people, this is what we're trying to bring. We're trying to get ahead and bring that real talk. This is not, we're just going to sit here and pray over. We're going to show you how, you can get and have this relationship with God, but still be able to talk about everything, be able to live and be true to who you are. You know what I mean? And guess what? I feel like we're all still growing. We're all trying to, better ourselves. And it's a process. You know what I mean? And you don't got to go through that process alone. You can come here and laugh it out, cry it out, whatever you got to do right here on the Save This Sunday podcast. So this is definitely something important. But how y'all feel about the first show? Y'all let the people know how you feel and what you expect for this season.
I am feeling it. I'm expecting some great topics. We're going to talk about a lot of things that we're feeling in our hearts. And I'm excited because we don't always get a chance to have these conversations on a regular basis. We don't always get a chance to ask our pastor and even like as comedians, we get a lot of questions and we don't get a chance to answer or address all of the questions. So this is a platform that we're going to be using to voice our opinions and also get, feel the pulse of our followers.
Definitely. Pastor, you got anything? How you feel about the show? What's your vision for everything?
Yeah, man, everything is gravy. Everything is gravy. I'm super excited about everything that is being discussed, that is going on. I think that this is an excellent opportunity for people to tune in, for people, the saints and the ain'ts, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is where that S is, right? We're all the same people. So, there are some who believe, and there are others who, may be on the fence. There are those who may have come in and stepped away. And so this is a perfect opportunity for us to ask questions, for us to be able to, talk about the Lord and talk about other things in life, for us to even talk about scripture. There's one thing I would leave with us is, we talked about this a little bit earlier. You talked about, something coming to fruition. You talked about having expectation. You talked about things coming to reality for us. One of the things that scripture reminds us in the book of Habakkuk is to write down your vision and to make it plain.
Come on now.
Write it down and make it plain. I would encourage all of us this year to write down those things so we can see it, so we can visualize it, so we can go after it. We can make our roadmap to go after, to write it down. If it's a budget, you want to get your finances straight, write that budget down. If it's goals that you want to facilitate, write that thing down. If it, find a roadmap, find a thing that go after it. Make this year the year that we go after it, because nobody's going to give it to us. So let's go after it ourselves. And I believe that God will be glorified. God has given each and every tool, each and everything, and each and every one of us, and has equipped each and every. It's like seeds that have been planted in us, and we're being put in good soil. Now it's time to do the work and allow God to do the rest.
Listen. Let me tell you let me tell you something. And this is real.
Offering tray.
I know the doors of the Save This Church is open. Okay, the doors of the Save This Church is open. I'm gonna be real. That's the biggest 2, 1 through 3, right, or something like that. Because I come on now.
Yeah.
Because the crazy thing is, and I always tell people, like, I have a shirt that says I pray for this on the back. It says manifest, and I speak it into existence. And I do this thing called the 3-6-9 method, where I write everything that I want to get and happen 3 times in the morning, 6 in the afternoon, and 9 at night. And I did that, and I did that, and I did that. And, I did it for like 30 days, and everything I wrote down, it didn't happen in that time. And I was like, okay, I already gave that to God. He knows what it is. Kept it moving. I started on to the next stuff and started doing it. Everything that I wrote down, I promise you, I have these books are like my little Bibles, because I can go back and remember I was in Jamaica on the beach talking about I was going to do a comedy special, and I was going to do it on this date. And I had everything that I said I was going to do. I got it written down to the date that I didn't have a location to where I was going to go ahead and do it. I didn't know how, I said I wanted 100 people and I only wanted one show. You go ahead and tell God what you want. He's going to laugh at you because he's going to give you more than what you did. Because I had 2 sold out shows, over 250 people. And I was sitting there holding my show to 100 people. They was like, you sure you can do 100? And I was like, I sold out 3 weeks before my other show. The theater called me back. But that is so real. You want it, you got to write that thing down.
Yeah.
Because it becomes something that plays in your head. Like your tongue is so sharp. You know what I'm saying? So you have to watch what you go ahead and say. And I speak everything into existence. I seen everything I wanted right here is coming to. I've been writing this stuff. I can show y'all. You know what I mean? So just to see all these things happen, I encourage anybody to just lock in. It's not that hard. You know, you even got to do the 369, but just write something. The reason why I do that is repetition is in my head. Like it lives with me. So I walk this walk every single day. You know what I mean? I'm in an anticipation to what's to come. You know, so we're speaking these things into existence, and it's just dope. So I appreciate you just coming in and hitting that. That was definitely something.
And I thank you for reminding us, because there's people like me out there who needed to be reminded to write things down, and and to know. My grandmother used to always tell me that you can rest in the Lord. You can rest in his promise to you. You can rest. He's going to finish what he started.
Yes.
So when things get weary, when things get confusing, when things get foggy, just remind ourselves that God is going to finish what he started.
Come on, man.
That keeps me going, because sometimes I want to know the how, the when,
the
why.
And he said, while you wait, don't be Terry. Like, you got to be patient. Like, you
got to be patient.
You got to be patient and just wait.
It's like when I don't know.
We got 1 minute just to let you know. We got 1 minute.
That's the thing. It's you know what? Write down the vision that God has placed in your life. Make it plain so that we can see it all the time. And I want to encourage our listeners as well to write it down, submit it. If you want us to share, submit your testimony. We want to be able to go with you. We want to be able to grow with you as well.
That's real. Well, people, listen, we appreciate y'all tuning in to episode 1. Y'all been amazing. Listen, before we get out of here, if any of y'all want to get ahead and send in, y'all want to get a commercial, we will be running commercials, promo things. Y'all have any events that's going on, and y'all want them to be promoted right here, y'all can send it in to Save the Sunday Podcast at billionairecomedy.com. Y'all can get ahead and send it there. But on behalf of myself, Bill the Billionaire, Pastor John Page, the comedian Monique Latise, we did a great job for the first show, okay? We did a great job for the first show. If y'all missed any of this, y'all can go ahead and catch it on YouTube. We thank you for the Inspired Living Network. We thank y'all. Listen, y'all have been amazing. And this has been the Save the Sunday Podcast. Make sure you follow us. Be back next Sunday, because guess what? We got some more Save This activity for y'all. Till next time, y'all have a blessed week. It's your boy Bill the Billionaire, Monique Latise, and John Page. We thank y'all, and we holla at y'all. See y'all next week, y'all. Peace. Let's do it.